Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. Today I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Intersentia, and it's an important book on Brexit. The title is The UK After Brexit, with the subtitle Legal and Policy Challenges, and it's been edited by Michael Dougan. Intersentia are well known to you for their European law publications, and this one is in fact a fine title to add to their stable. Elizabeth and I talked about the book, and the title we've given our book review is the following: a great read for all those who remain confused about Brexit. And that's all of us. Now let's have a look at the book first of all before we start with the review. It's a paperback. There it is. There's the front, there's the spine, and then there's the back. You probably can't see too much because of all the inverse printing, so it's rather difficult to read, but it's a lightish book. Runs to something approaching 325 pages. There's no index at the back as such. What you do have is just the back page and then a little bit of information about the editor, which is right at the back. Slightly different structure for Intersentia publications. There is paragraph numbering, which you can see on the sides, and then there is obviously footnoting as well. So there's a lot of detail that you can actually use to follow up. That's the front page, and then you've got all the details about Intersentia there, and you've got the contents section. It's got a list of the authors, then the editor's introduction, and then the various chapter headings. The total number of chapters are 15 altogether, finishing up with Brexit and relations between the EU and the UK. Now, the list of authors, I can't go through all of the names, but there they are. Substantial number of people, high quality publication, and very worthy, I think, at the moment. Then you've got the editor's introduction at the beginning. You see there's a little mini index at the front of each basic chapter. You've got a bit of numbering for the subheading, and then you've got the footnotes. And the book, actually the editor's introduction is important because it sets out what the book's basic purpose is, and it's dated the 17th of April 2017, Liverpool, which is where the author was at that time. Then you've got part 1, constitutional issues. Then you see the structure running all the way through the book. As I said, the only drawback to this really is that there is no, that's the middle of the book there, you can see structure all the way through. The problem is there is no index at the back, so if you're looking for things, you've really got to go to the main contents section at the front, and then the actual a repetition of what's actually in the contents section, which is actually in each of the chapter headings. Altogether, though, a very interesting book, not an expensive one, and one I think that many people, if you're both a lawyer or a political scientist, will find interesting. What do we say about the book? Well, we say this: 17 experts have been brought together by Intersentia to produce this most useful book on Brexit. It appears at one of the one of the most dramatic times for the United Kingdom since the end of the Second World War. The difficulty for many people is that the decision to leave the European Union has thrown up more questions than answers, and the well-respected publisher on first-class European legal matters, that's Intersentia, have invited Michael Dougan and his team to help us out with this excellent short paperback. And as I've said, it's easy to read, and I think it will fill in a lot of holes that may at the moment be a little bit disconcerting for people, because we're not quite sure of some aspects of Brexit itself. The publishers rightly described this book in the following way: it's as a result of a cooperation between a group of leading academics from top institutions in the United Kingdom and beyond. And its purpose is defined as offering undergraduates, practitioners and scholars an authoritative, informative and thought-provoking series of analyses of some of the key challenges facing the United Kingdom legal system. That of course includes England, Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales, in and through the process of what they call de-Europeanisation. And they do just that, which is of course of great benefit to all of us at this turbulent time. I'll come on in a moment a little bit more about this de-Europeanisation. It sounds pretty awful, but you can get a picture of what they're talking about. Now, Intersentia and their team of contributors are well respected specialists in the field of European law particularly, based of course in Antwerp and in Cambridge. And of course they also are very relevant publications for political scientists. So they present us here with what they describe as discursive exploration of key issues and themes for reflection and debate within multiple areas of law. So what we get with this title are the following sectors reviewed in detail, depending of course on what you might be researching. So that's specifically constitutional concerns such as the relationship between Parliament and the executive, that's the government, the relevance of devolution and the impact of the courts. Now other substantive topic areas also include employment law naturally, environmental law, financial services, intellectual property, and a much neglected area of what is called criminal cooperation, which is not an oxymoron that it might seem to be. And of course that is an area that has been with us for a very long time, since almost effectively the time that we joined what was then the common market. But criminal cooperation is very much part of this, the tag that we have of things like the European arrest warrant and so on. But you can see the basic concerns about what has been built up and what we might possibly lose on Brexit. Now the editors have also decided to cover contemporary issues regarding the United Kingdom's external relations, and that's specifically concentrating on the EU itself, with membership of the World Trade Organization, one of the main areas, ingredients for creating a post-Brexit United Kingdom trade policy, of course, very, very important, and then bilateral investment policy and the much wider policy area of international security from the United Nations, NATO and other bodies. Now clearly the book is looking at implications as well as the sheer mechanics, and I think that will be of benefit to a lot of readers. Now the structure of the work has been designed to give the clearest presentation of these analyses, and it constitutes a critical comprehensive resource on the effects of de-Europeanisation on the UK legal system. As I mentioned before, probably this area I think will be directly relevant for many practitioners and scholars currently grappling with what may well be the breakup of our current European law structure as we see it, and in its current present existence. So obviously there's a great deal at stake, and we realise of course that the analyses that we have here will remain relevant for quite a while, not only with the withdrawal process as it unfolds towards March 2019 and beyond, but well into the future, past 2022, which is the date we've been given for transition, as Britain reconfigures and reorientates the English legal system to new internal and external realities. And of course it will be forced to review both Scottish and Northern Irish systems as well. So we feel quite lucky to have this excellent new paperback to help us along the way. So thank you very much, Intersentia. Now the book was published on the 30th of June 2017. Let's just have one last look at it. There it is again. It's a paperback, and you can see from there's the spine again, and you can see the bit on the back. It's difficult to read. Some of what I've actually incorporated in the review is contained there, because it's not always available, so I thought it'd be useful for you to know what the book has. Now, for instance, I've opened it up at chapter 8. This is intellectual property in Brexit. A very important area, very modern area, looking at copyright, for instance. So I think, depending on what you're looking for, there again, that's another example, paragraph numbering and footnotes as well, of course. But I think, depending on what you're looking for, a lot of the answers to your questions will be in this book. So a big thank you to Michael Dougan as the editor, and the experts who've contributed, and to Intersentia for actually bringing this book to us. I think it's very important and very helpful at this time. So a big thank you to all. Bye-bye.